Morant with a running start. Elevate! Dunks! Oh my goodness! Tie game in overtime. Gasol will turn his heat. It's gone! Memphis on top. 7-10 remaining. Conley now with three. Count it! A 15-point lead for Memphis. And Blake Griffin gets into it on the floor with Randolph. Hard to tell if there are any punches being thrown under there, but Griffin took acceptance. Adams going long. Morant! Oh, he hit it! John Morant, insanity!
You gotta be kidding me.
Welcome to Grits and Grinds, a Memphis Grizzlies podcast. Grizzlies win edition. My name is Keith Parrish. The Grizzlies returned home and beat the Dallas Mavericks in a game that did not feature Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Luka Doncic, or Kyrie Irving. Jaren Jackson Jr. had a monster performance, and the Grizzlies picked up their 15th home win of the season and a rare victory over a Western Conference team that has a winning record. On today's episode, I'm going to talk about this victory. I'm not going to draw any grand conclusions. I mean, maybe single game conclusions are ridiculous anyway, but especially one featuring these two very odd starting lineups. Maybe not a lot to glean from it, although it is an important win, I feel like. I'll get into more of that in a second. And also, I guess we'll revisit these Jimmy Butler trade rumors, which have not yet resolved. Anyways, before I get into it, just a reminder, if you live anywhere near Nashville, come down to Noble's Beer Hall on Thursday for the Grizzlies' next game. This Grizzlies-Rockets game on Thursday, January 9th. I will be hosting a watch party at Noble's Beer Hall. 7 p.m. is the tip-off. We will be giving away lots of Grizzlies prizes. Be there, hang out, watch the Grizzlies play this Thursday for Grizzlies-Rockets. Okay, like I said, no Ja Morant. That part's not surprising. Desmond Bane ended up being doubtful for this game after the Warriors game. Apparently, he banged up his ankles. So no Desmond Bane, no Ja Morant. The Grizzlies started Scottie Pippen Jr., Jalen Wells, John Conchar, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Zach Edey. That's two rookies, two players who began their careers on two-way deals, and Jaren Jackson Jr. Meanwhile, the Mavericks started no ball handlers. The Mavericks started Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, P.J. Washington, Maxi Kleber, and Derek Lively. That's two centers, two small forward to power forward tweeners, and Klay Thompson. A very weird starting lineup, and this game was ugly basketball for a very, very long time. The Mavericks had the upper hand in the first quarter. They led 36-26 after one. But even if the Grizzlies, I think, were winning, we would say this basketball is terrible. It was a lot of disjointed movement and turnovers and missed shots. Also, I think it's fair as a Grizzlies fan to point out that the defense was not playing that well. Regardless of who plays, you expect the defense to be pretty good. And on the heels of the Kings and Warriors losses, where you gave up a ton of points, to then give up 36 points to a Mavericks squad that wasn't really playing any point guards or ball handlers. I mean, Spencer Dinwiddie did eventually come into the game and play. Dinwiddie played almost 30 minutes, did nothing. Completely invisible. You would think with no Kyrie Irving and no Luka Doncic, he would try to step up a little bit. Nope. Completely invisible. But eventually, the Grizzlies did find their footing. They tried a lot of things before they did. Yuki Kawamura played in the first half. He played 2 minutes. He played real hard, bless his heart. Picked up 2 fouls, did not come back in the game. The Grizzlies played this weird lineup with Brandon Clark, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Zach Edey at the same time. They didn't know what they were doing. I mean, maybe they did. It eventually turned around. The Grizzlies used a run at the end of the first half to take the lead going into halftime. Then they started the third quarter on a nice little spurt. Jay Huff started the second half, I think because of the spacing issues that they were having with Zach Edey, John Conchar, Pippen, Wells, and Jaren Jackson Jr. out there. Edey did not have a huge impact on this game. He only played 4 minutes in the second half. But with Jay Huff out there to start the third quarter, things were going well. The Grizzlies started making three-pointers. They ended up having an extended 35-15 run. The Grizzlies had been down 48-40 in the second quarter with about 4.5 minutes left. Then halfway through the third quarter, they led 75-63. It's a 20-point swing. By the way, outside of that first quarter, where the Grizzlies were outscored 36-26, they outscored the Mavericks the rest of the way 93-68. There's that good defense, holding the Mavericks to just 68 points over the final three quarters. And this game, it's basically all about Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. was a monster. He was unstoppable. He scored 35 points. He had 13 rebounds. That ties his regular season career high. He also picked up 5 assists, 3 steals, and a block. It was the first 30-point, 10-rebound, 5-assist game of Jaren Jackson Jr.'s career. Now, as someone who considers themselves to be a purveyor of stats, I want to let you know a little secret about saying rare stats for Jaren, like it's the first time he did this. They're basically all based around rebounding and passing because he doesn't pick up rebounds and assists that frequently. He has very few career like 20 and 10 games because he's not a big rebounder. Also, him, getting 13 rebounds and matching his regular season career high, I still feel like he should be slightly embarrassed that after 7 seasons, 13 rebounds is still his career high for a game. John Conchar has gotten 13 rebounds in a game twice in the last week. Jaren's postseason career high in rebounds is 14. He's done that twice. Now, don't mishear me. I'm not mad at Jaren. Jaren's amazing. Jaren is the reason the Grizzlies have an incredible record. Jaren's the reason they won this game. Jaren needs to make an all-star game. Without question, unquestionably, he's an all-star. He's in contention for first-team all-defense coming off that Defensive Player of the Month award for the Western Conference. Jaren's awesome. But you can always say, this is the first time Jaren's ever had this many points, this many rebounds, and this many assists because he doesn't get assists or rebounds normally. Just wanted to let you in on that little secret. But Jaren, absolutely dominant in this one. Also, good job Jalen Wells in this game getting his first career double-double. He had 17 points and 11 rebounds. That despite him only making 1 out of 5 of his three-point attempts. This was a rare home victory for the Grizzlies when Jalen Wells has a bad shooting night. But he got to the free throw line, a career high, 10 made free throws on 11 attempts. So Jalen Wells played 35 minutes, a big part of this victory. And then Scottie Pippen Jr., huge performance for him, had 18 points, 5 boards, a career high 5 steals, also got 4 assists. And then Luke Kennard put together another very nice game. Luke Kennard had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, made 3 out of 5 three-pointers. And the interesting aspect of Luke's game, I felt like, was that he was listed as being out on the morning of the game. Luke was out after missing the Warriors game. He was still listed as being out for this game. Then Desmond Bane gets ruled out, and they upgrade him to questionable, so he trended in the right way, ended up being available to play. So now Luke, over his past several games, has put up some really good stats. He scored in double digits in 4 straight games that he's appeared in. I need to say that because he missed the last game. Yes, over his past 6 games, he's averaging 13.5 points per game. He's making 3 three-pointers per game. He's hit at least 2 threes in 6 straight games that he's played. Of course, in the past 6 games, he missed one of them. It's very important. Luke misses games. Right now, Luke is absolutely enjoying the best stretch of basketball he's played this season. Is he showing off for the potential trade? Who knows? But as long as Luke plays like this, we're happy to have him around. Although he still can shoot the basketball more. I'm not just the one saying that. Brevin Knight on the local Grizzlies broadcast yelled shoot at least one time when Luke Kennard had the ball at the three-point line and was open. He kind of thought about it, decided to pass. The Grizzlies did not get a better look on that possession. Ended up, I believe, with a very tough Jalen Wells shot, or maybe he ended off to Jaren with the hand grenade, and Jaren had to throw something up there. But Luke has played very, very well, contributing to this Grizzlies win. And I call it an important win just because of the schedule. We've been talking a lot about the Grizzlies having a middling record against the Western Conference. They're also in this long stretch of games against good Western Conference teams. And coming off the loss to the Kings and the Warriors, coming off those two losses, and with games against the Rockets upcoming and the Timberwolves and the Spurs, this was an important win to get, regardless of the opponent. Even if Daniel Gafford left the game with injury and Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic didn't play, it doesn't matter. Just stack wins. We're in the stack wins portion of this season. We want to have home court advantage. Our dreams of making it out of the first round, you're probably going to need home court advantage to do that. And just getting any win under these circumstances is important. Now, like I said, I'm not drawing conclusions from this. What conclusions can you draw? You played weird lineups. Your opponent played weird lineups. The best players weren't available. You get the victory. I'm happy at the victory. I like watching wins. That part's fun. I like watching Jay Huff make a big impact on the basketball game. I like having good Jake LaRavia games. But mainly, I like winning. And the Grizzlies winning this game just helps them maintain their spot in the standings. They moved back up into a tie with the Rockets for second in the Western Conference. You gave the Mavericks, one of your rivals, and perhaps a team that, when is fully healthy, is better than you. You gave the Mavericks their fifth straight loss. That part's important to me. You're now 3.5 games ahead of the Mavericks in the standings. So despite the fact I don't think there's any long-term conclusions to draw from this specific matchup, just being 3.5 games up on the Mavericks makes this a big, important victory. Now, one notable stat that I thought was amusing to wrap up this game, the Grizzlies had 20 more free throw attempts than the Mavericks. I think that's notable because you remember the last time they played, where the Mavericks had 30 more free throw attempts than the Grizzlies. I'm not calling it even, NBA officials, but I thought it was amusing that the Grizzlies ended up with that many more free throws than the Mavs. Also this game, both teams lost challenges early in the game, so maybe it was a more free-flowing game because no one could challenge any calls in this one. I didn't think it was particularly well refereed, but also sometimes when the talent level is low in the games, it ends up with like just a sloppier game. Maybe it's hard on the officials. I don't know. But was not the most aesthetically pleasing game, except for the fact Grizzlies win. Grizzlies win. All right. Now, I guess we can talk about Jimmy Butler again. I'm now recording at 11 a.m. Central Time on Tuesday, January 7th. No Jimmy Butler trade yet. However, there was another report that the Grizzlies were interested in him. This from John Gambadoro, who is a Suns broadcaster. He was saying that he's hearing the Bucks and Grizzlies are the two teams that, quote, he's hearing, inquiring about Jimmy Butler. Now, is he just repeating stuff that other people are repeating? Is this a game of telephone? We're all making up these rumors? I don't know. But this legitimately was like the most real sounding thing because, like, he's not just throwing stuff out there for clicks. At least I don't think he is. Where most of these other places where these reports come from, I feel like they are. So I don't know if the Grizzlies feel like Jimmy Butler is their guy. They want to get half a season of Jimmy Butler or maybe a year and a half, or maybe they feel like they can convince him Memphis is a great organization to be with and he can compete alongside John Morant and Jared and Desmond for the next couple of years. I don't know. If you want to hear why I feel like the trade is unlikely, listen to the previous episode. There's basically no way to acquire him without going into the tax, and it feels strange for the Grizzlies with this young core to spend future draft capital or give up on a young player you really like a Gigi Jackson, for a 35-year-old Jimmy Butler. That all seems a little bit strange, but maybe not. Maybe Jimmy Butler's ready to dye his hair Beale Street blue. Oh, actually, wait. No, he's not. We have breaking news. I knew this would happen. We have breaking news, 11:27 Central Time. Jimmy Butler has no interest in joining the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm not making this up. Chris Haynes is reporting that he got a text, or that Jimmy's agent or somebody has let him know and to tell the world he has no interest in being acquired by the Memphis Grizzlies. So there you have it. Jimmy Butler will not be on the team this Thursday for the watch party against the Rockets. Maybe Ja Morant will be available for that game. Come to Noble's Beer Hall this Thursday night, January 9th. Anyways, if you want some bonus content, extra stuff from me, you want to support this program, you want to join the listener Slack channel, do all of that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. All right. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Go Grizz.